Okay, welcome. This is our official January 2016 edition of the main course, and I'm Amy Marc-Charles, and we've just been chatting with everybody as we've been waiting to get started, and we have kind of several things to talk about today, so I do want to get started. And the first thing is spring socials. Are you guys registered for a spring social? Have you signed up? There are spring socials taking place all over the place. You can see the full list. First of all, they just posted again about it in the official Velada Consultant group on Facebook, but it's also in the events tab of the the workstation. Did I say news tab of the workstation? You can see all the different locations and you can see the dates. I will tell you, I just got an email from Sarah Walker like 15 minutes ago, and she said they're really trying to finalize, get a good head count of numbers of people that are attending. They're going to try to send everybody a reminder soon. And so she told us that as long as coordinators don't mind, that it's up to us to allow walk-ins at the door, which in Oklahoma City, I'm sure that's fine. We'll have plenty of space, and so we'll probably leave it open for people to walk in and just pay the $10 or was it like $11.21 or something with the fee. So we'll probably let people do that, but you're not going to get the kit. So just like with Cincy Spring Sprint Now World Tour, where there's like a kit where you get some stuff, they are actually sending those for the people who attend the different spring socials. So this is what she said. She said something about how attendees will receive new recipes and sales tools, whatever that means, workbooks for spring socials, which are pretty cool. So I'm assuming that would just be over whatever content they have planned. That would be the same for everybody. And then also probably just space to take notes and stuff like that. And then product giveaways. So I have no idea what that would be, but I'm excited to think that those who are registered will get that. So by the end of this month, make sure that you're registered. They're not that expensive either, most registrations are like $10, $15, something like that. So, I think it's worth it just to register. And then if something came up, it's not like you're out $70 like Cincy World Tour. It's just like $10, $15. So try to go. Most expensive one is $22. That's not bad at all. And I bet it's just because they're doing like a big lunch or something. And that's probably why, to cover the cost of food. Is that the one that Christy Howard is doing, Diana, in Texas? So at ours, I think we're just doing it in the morning, and so ours is just going to have snacks. So that's why we didn't do a higher cost, but I'm sure it's well worth it. I mean, if that's a meal, you're probably going to be snacking, making food and stuff. So spring socials, you really, 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 really need to get registered for those. And I think they're going to be great. Also, so Cincy consultants received an email about Cincy transition that's coming up. A lot of consultants have not received a specific email, but I did see that Kevin Kirkpatrick just said to expect to see the new catalog on February 1st. I'm assuming that we will still be doing 10% off month for Velada as well. We did it last transition, so that means even like the raclette, 10% off, baby. That's pretty amazing. At least it was last time, so don't hold me to that. But so if you are a new consultant, here's kind of how it works. On February 1st, we'll see the new Velada spring and summer catalog that actually launches and you can order from on March 1st. But we'll see it February 1st. And that gives us time to take a look and see if there are any discontinuing products that our customers need. I mean, at this point, some of the rubs and dip blends have been around, and if they decide, they could trade those out. They could get rid of some and then they could bring new ones in, things like that. So let's just say, I have no idea, you guys, but let's just say they got rid of Santa Maria barbecue. Then you would, at that time, as soon as you see, oh my goodness, Santa Maria barbecue is not in this catalog, then you would be calling up all your past customers who have bought that, and you would mention at every party, like, look, this is an awesome rub. This is the month you have to stock up because it's going to be discontinuing. So that's kind of what transition month will be like in February. I'm assuming we'll also kind of have a discount on new catalogs, maybe like a 10% off discount on new catalogs during the month of February, so you can stock up on those to be ready for March 1st whenever they come out. I think I would panic too. I mean, think about, so like we're going to talk about freeze meal workshops, but there are certain rubs that I've been using all last year, and I don't know what I would do now because they are part of my family's lineup for meals that we have. You know, some of them, I'm sorry, I'm out of breath. But there are certain meals that are like part of our family staples now. We have like once a month, and I don't know what I would do. I would be upset. So let's not think about that. Yeah, the smoky sweet chipotle, that would be so sad. Lemon garlic, let's not think about it because hopefully they won't do anything. So far they've been around, they haven't taken any rubs out. So I don't think they will. That was just kind of as an example. So nobody get worried yet. Okay, so one more thing, unless you guys have any questions, but I wanted to share something. As we were talking back October, maybe November, we were talking about doing like sweet treat workshops. I know Diana was here and we were talking a lot. There were several different people on the chat who were talking about things that they're doing or that they've done or they're planning. So I finally got up the courage and I am doing a sweet treats Valentine workshop. I just went to Pinterest, you guys, and I looked up Valentine kids treats or Valentine sweet treats, and I found several different things that looked good, and I just took screenshots of the pictures that were on Pinterest. I hope that's okay. Public domain, right? Maybe. And so I just made a little collage of 4 different things. Like one of them was like, oh my gosh, so at Christmas time, people make the popcorn that has M&Ms, and you use the vanilla meltables and like maybe some pretzels too and some sprinkles and stuff like that. I love that stuff. And so we're making that with like Valentine color red and pink M&Ms and some sprinkles. I don't know, maybe some candy hearts in it. We're making that kind of thing, like dipped pretzels that look like hearts. I don't know. So I made this image and I was just asking friends to gauge some interest. So I'm actually going to set a date and figure out cost and stuff, but I'm looking forward to that. My first sweet treat workshop. I'm so proud of myself. And so I wanted to share that idea with you guys. Are you guys doing anything for Valentine's? Oh, and it's a mommy and me workshop. I should have mentioned that. So I am telling my friends, I'll tell them, you can bring a friend, and I might do a gift. Like if somebody invites another friend to come, then I might do a gift, but it'll be cost per child. So if somebody comes and they have 2 kids, then they'll pay times 2 so both kids can make the treats. But I think it'll be really fun because we're going to take those to Valentine party at school and just kind of I think Hattie, my daughter's 3, and so she's at an age where she loves to help cook and bake and make stuff like that, and I think that'll be really fun for her. And we're going to give it away. We're not going to sit and eat it at home. Diana said she's advertising that at her workshops this weekend. I also thought I would have a table for them to make their Valentines with all my scrapbooking stuff. That's a cute idea. Jenna said she did a Christmas one. She had fun. She's doing one for Valentine's too. Van and I are hosting a crate party on the 29th. That's fun. Who did you invite your friends to that, Delinda? I was thinking too, so at these kind of sweet treats things, for those of you who have done it, like what do you do so obviously we're using meltables, and I might do like a chocolate, make something that has like a richer, like real Belgian chocolate in it. But what do you do to kind of like encourage people to buy other things? Like what are the snacks that you're making, especially with like a mommy and me party? I'm wondering what snacks should I make that the kids will love and the parents be like, ooh, this is good. So I'm thinking maybe a dip blend would be good. My kid's kind of a picky kid. I just never thought that would happen to me. Those of you with older kids are like, but she's gotten so picky. And so I need to think about the dips and things that she likes and what her friends would like. But I'm trying to figure out what snacks I can have because I want the parents to buy more, I don't want them just to be using what we're actually using. I like doing popcorn with a rub and dimplets. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm just wondering what finger foods, Jess, like if I do little sandwiches, I want to make sure I incorporate the lot as much as possible. I guess they all like nacho cheese, you know, I can do chips and just not the Fiesta queso. That stuff gets spicy. So I might just do like a cheddar cheese with some Rotel, a mild Rotel. That might be good. Anyway, okay, that's enough. Thanks for helping me. But hopefully that helped you guys have some good ideas. Graham crackers and chocolate. Oh, the chocolate. What chocolate graham crackers dipped in cheesecake with cherry pie filling on top? Whoa, that's fancy. No, I didn't see that. I did see where somebody bought these little cups, and I don't know if they were like shot glasses but they were like little plastic, like, I don't know, cute little things, and they filled them, they made like a cheesecake, so they filled it with the graham crackers, they put the cheesecake filling on top, the cheesecake, and then they put like maybe a cherry, you know, cherry stuff on the very top, and then they dipped that whole glass, I don't know how they did that without it falling out, but they dipped the whole glass in like a dark chocolate and then stood it up, and that dried, and it kind of sealed around the whole thing, like including like the top like half-inch rim around the glass so that they could transport them and nothing spilled. Oh, that was really, really cool. Ooh, so many ideas. What are you guys saying? For those watching the recording, I guess I should explain to you what else they're saying. What if you make your own French onion chip veggie dip? I love the French onion dip, so that might be good. Oh, cheddar, bacon cheddar, a can of cream of mushroom, and a can of Rotel is an awesome cheese dip. That's interesting. I did the dip that has, this is a good one. It had Fiesta queso, Rotel, cream cheese. That might be it. I think that was it. That was, and a box of spinach, of like frozen spinach that's strained, all the liquid is out. I mean, heat that up. That is good stuff. That's the Fiesta queso, spinach, cream cheese, and Rotel. That's yummy. I think that's it, Jess. You can buy champagne flutes that are plastic, like for bars and stuff. I think that's what it is. That sounded good, Diana. Mushroom and Rotel. Cream of mushroom, Rotel, cheddar, and bacon cheddar. Interesting. Okay. Let's talk about freeze room workshop. So you guys, lucky you, I have a PowerPoint prepared. And you don't have to see me. I am actually going to try to screen share and show you just this. There's just pictures of things that you might want to keep in mind. That way I stay on pace too, because I tend to like ramble if I don't. So I'm going to share my screen. Just fancy. Okay. So can you guys see it? This is from convention that we did. Can you guys still see me too right here up in the little screen? I see me and I see the screen share. Or can you just see, you can see me too? Okay, so I guess I shouldn't do anything really crazy, right? All right, so we'll just fast forward through all this. Okay, so here's just some pictures of workshops. This is one that we had at my house. I need to be able to see your chat. But I wanted to show you how they can look really different. So this is one at my house. I have a huge center island. We actually can fit 6 people across somewhat comfortably on my island alone. And then I think I have a picture later where you can see my dining room table, how I'm using it too. But this is mine. You can kind of see I have cutting mats I provide for everybody. Obviously, it just looks like a big, fat, organized mess. It is organized. Let's see if we can go to the next picture. Okay, so here's another workshop. I can't remember whose pictures these are. So if they're yours, hey, shout out to you. Let us know if they're yours. I wanted to show this because look, these are people sitting down. I have felt like I've had people who are sitting down, and I have felt like like somebody was sitting down because she had hurt her hip or something. And so I let her sit at my dining room table, and I was trying to help cut. And I felt like that was hard to do just because I'm not used to prepping. But if you have people who need to, or if that's what you have and they'd rather sit, then that's what you do. Oh, I think this was Julie White's. But she had a couples workshop. Jenna, remind me to ask you that, or ask me that again. How do we keep them at 2 hours? Usually they go a little bit over, but I've started doing, just remind me and I'll cover it. Okay, so this is, like I said, like a couples workshop, I think. I thought this was just really cute. She has some really cute bowls. I think she got them at Dollar Tree. Here's another one. Group of people. I think those bowls are from IKEA. This is another one at my house. So if you look down, so you can see Jacqueline in the pink by the window. If you look down to the left of her, under the table, you can see a black bed riser. So bed risers, if you go to Walmart or Target, they're like $8. Don't do it on Amazon because they're like $16 there. But if you go to Walmart, Target, they're like $7 or $8, and you can get a set of bed risers. So you can lift up your dining room table. You can also lift up, what am I talking about? Oh, just like card tables, any tables that you have, you can lift them up so that they're counter height. So if this is a 6-inch bed riser, and that brings a regular table to counter height. And I think it helps a lot. I think it makes it a lot more comfortable. People are used to prepping at that height and not leaning down at a regular table. I think if that's what you got, then that's what you have. And obviously, like, I've had a few people who have inquired about doing workshops like at their church, and I'm not going to buy bed risers for all those tables. I'm going to let people sit down, or they can stand up at that spot and they'll have to lean over if there's not a big church kitchen and we're just in a big gym or something. But that's that. So my workshops, I've started doing if I was doing 6:30 to 8:30, it was getting a little bit late. I started doing 6 to 8. And I think we often run late. What actually helped was I started in the fall, I switched to where they do their meat prep ahead of time. I didn't want to do it at first because I felt like it was so much easier to just say, hey, go shopping, bring everything, and we'll prep everything at my house. You don't have to get your kitchen dirty at all. But I found that it keeps my kitchen from getting all gross because of the chicken juice and stuff. It also keeps us better on track with time, because that kind of thing takes a lot of time at the end, and some people like to really like trim their meats off more than others, and some are like fast and slow, and that helps. And then the other thing is they don't mind. I asked everybody, what do you guys think? And they said, I mean, like almost unanimous, people said they prefer to do their meats ahead of time. Yeah, they had to make sure they had the meat the night before and they couldn't just go grocery shopping on the way. But they like that it gave them, they didn't have to be away from home as long during the actual workshop. They appreciated it. So I'm just glad that worked out. So we do 8 meals at my workshops. And I'll show you a picture of everything that they get and kind of how it's set up, but they get 8. You can split them into more meals for people who have smaller families. I'll just tell them in their shopping list, just bring extra bags, or split your meat up and you'll have your extra bags. And you can have 2 meals for one recipe. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not bored. I hope. I'm just yawning. Let's see. Okay, so here's what I've learned in doing 1 year's worth of workshops. It's kind of like a party, but the thing is, most of the work is done beforehand because you have to do your selling before. Once they're there, you can sell them other things. You can upsell, basically. You can, talk about your knives or your cutting mat, how it's antibacterial, and you fold it up in the microwave. But for me, most of it's done before. My workshop attendees get to go home with their rubs and spices. So I have to basically sell them on a workshop, get them to RSVP and pay, and I have to get them to does it pay because I have to order my stuff ahead of time. So there are options. I do it where you actually get your spices, your rubs, dip blends, or, you know, whatever. We've used veggie grillers. Guys, I made a chicken masala, or do we call it curry chicken? There are two different recipes, but we made some with the Asian honey pepper. What is it called? It was really, really good. I'll have to share that recipe sometime. So, but there are other people, especially if you're on the Velada Consultants Parties Brainstorming group. There's a group that's specifically for that, for sharing ideas for freezer meal workshops. And in that group, I would say the majority of people actually do this thing where they do, where they share their rubs, and there's different pros and cons to both sides. So you want to like look into it and see what's best for you. I prefer to have more PRV up front from each person. I wanted to be able to sell to each one, and then I wanted them to be able to go home with stuff. So that's why I did it the way that I do it. I charge $40 for my workshops if it's about 33 PRV-ish worth of Velada product. Then I charge $40, and that includes their shipping. And let me see if I broke that down somewhere. I probably did somewhere in here, but that includes like their shipping and tax cost, and then just a little bit extra to cover my cost of like any papers that I were to print. And then basically I just earn commission off of what they buy. And I am going to talk about this in a second, but I'll just say right now, so in case you're thinking, well, what if they get like a lemon garlic rub right now and then you use that again the next month? Well, then in that case, I would just tell them you have a credit, bring your lemon garlic, but you have $9, let's say, because I would have ordered it in a multi-pack, in a 3-pack. So I'll say you have $9 to get some other Velada product. You can get a chocolate, or you can get a different rub or whatever. And I'll have that for you at your workshop. So my recipes, I've made most of them. I would say, I mean, almost half I've gotten, I'd say at least half I've created, where I've just gone on Pinterest and I'll think, oh, that looks good. And then I'll try to figure out what Velada products would work for that. And then I test it, and then I take notes, and I've created a recipe. And then some of the other ones I found on that Facebook group. You have to be careful. I think you want to be able to stand behind the recipes, so you need to try the recipes before you actually put them out there for everybody. And especially your first workshop, it's easy to take a planned, it's easy to take, I'm sorry, even if it's mine, if it's my 8 recipes that you have found that I have a menu created and you want to do that for your first workshop, I think that's awesome, but please try them first. You might find that you want to tweak a recipe, and that's okay with me. You may find like, I don't like this recipe, and I don't know that my attendees would work it. Then you take that out and you put something else in, because you want to stand behind all of your recipes. That way people want to come back. You are building your credibility. They're not all crock-pot meals. They are, I don't know. Some menus have more crock-pot meals, some don't. I don't know. Some people love the crock-pot, some don't. Some people, when I do crock-pot meals, I've had them say that instead of sticking them in the crock-pot, that they wanted to bake it instead, or saute it or whatever, and that's fine. They just, you figure it out. But anyway, let's keep going, and then I'll come back. So repeat customers are awesome. That is a great way to just keep going every month, have some good business, and getting started is really easy. So these are like the main points I'll talk about. So it's sort of like a party in that most of the selling and ordering and stuff is done beforehand. You can host your own, which I've mainly done, or you can have other people host them. And with my hostesses, I don't give them a full party worth of credit, because I am using the credit to pay for snacks during the party, or I'm trying to combine orders so that I can get more people, I can get them more for their money as far as the cost of the workshop goes. But usually my credit, my party credit, when I go and I enter everybody's stuff that they're going to need for a workshop, the party credit is generally going for cheesecake or chocolate or crepe mix or something because I'm going to serve them food at the workshop. And then what I do is I give my hostess a half price item. That's what I've done. I've told them that they can have, if they'll have like 8 or 10 people at their workshop, that they'll have, they can get their workshop for free. Jen has done several now too. I know you've done some, Diana. Has anybody else done them? You guys can pop on. Let me, if I finish sharing, maybe write down if you think of something that you want to share that you do differently. And after I kind of go through everything, you can come on just audibly, or you can come on the video chat too and share. So I'm going to go through just because I want to make sure we don't run out of time. Actually, we only have like 15 minutes left. Let me see. Okay. So that's the party. Most of the work is done beforehand. And so here's the thing. Especially if you're using somebody else's menu, or if you're using a menu you've already created and stuff, like it's going to be so much easier. The first workshop you do, I would say use one of my menus that I've put up or whatever. But most of the work is still going to be done beforehand because you're going to have to keep track of who's coming. You're going to have to figure out what to order and order that. And then I email about a week before my workshop, never later than a week before, especially if it's like on a weekend. I'll try to get it beforehand, but I try to get them their shopping list. So you can see this is just the shopping list, and it gives a few details about what to bring. So I think, I don't have it on there, but it says things to bring, like bring your favorite knife, because what I do, I'll show you in a picture like what my setup looks like, but they can bring a knife because they don't have enough for everybody to use. I tell them to bring a hand towel because, oh my goodness, when I didn't say to bring a hand towel or an apron, I went through a roll of paper towels every single workshop. So I still have paper towels for people to use if they need them, but tell them to bring a hand towel so they can use it to dry their hands after washing their hands, or just to clean up little messes, or what to wipe off after you've cut something. So that's very helpful. But that's just what's on here. And then I send the shopping list in this email, and it's by category. And so it'll say produce, and it'll list everything, breads, and then like canned and dry goods and whatever. So this is what my setup looks like. I provide them with I have enough cutting mats for 10 people. That's my limit. So you would need to kind of come up with a limit, whether it's like 6 or 8, whatever your number is. If you want to do an odd number like 7, then that's fine. But anyway, come up with a limit, and then you would want to have cutting mats. If possible, you don't have to use the lot of ones. You could just go to Dollar Tree and get something for now until you can save up enough hostess credit to get stuff like that, to get balata. And then I have just a mixing bowl. That's from Dollar Tree. My measuring cups and the little extra spoon for like scooping stuff out, beans and stuff. That's from Dollar Tree. I don't think it's in a picture, but I also have, you want to have a couple of can openers, a colander. I have a juicer for getting like lime juice or lemon juice if we have a recipe for that. I have a zester that people can use. Some people have a garlic press. I just usually tell people if there's a lot of garlic, I put in the shopping list, if you don't want to chop up all your garlic, I love the little jars that have pre-minced garlic found in the produce section, so I usually put that in. But this is what they get. Right behind the, you can see those are the labels that I've made for all the recipes that have the cooking instructions, but they also get, I don't have it in front of me, but they also get, it's like a table basically where it has all the recipes, and they get to take that home. And I'm actually doing now where they get a folder to take home, and it's got, let me just grab that, sorry. I do know that I have some of those. I have a video on YouTube, guys, about workshop to-go kits that I started doing, I think, and you can see like what this bag is. But it's basically, if somebody can't come to a workshop, they can do a workshop to-go kit, and they can pay extra and I'll ship it all to them, or they can just come pick it up, and they get everything. They just wouldn't actually do it at the house. So this is what I've created for people who come to my workshops the first time. This is a workshop to-go kit, so I've already like printed out the shopping list and instructions on here, but then everybody would get this kind of thing. So this is a table I found on that freeze meal group. on Facebook where somebody created it, and that's kind of how I type up all my menus now. And so basically there's ingredients, there's a column with day of workshop prep, there's a cooking column. So the stuff that's in the cooking column is the exact same thing that I copy and I paste it into the labels that they get. And then there's optional information. And then the back, they've got their labels and they get a catalog and a flyer and a little thank you information thing for me. So that's that. Oh, here it is. Look, I didn't know I was so prepared. Here's some other stuff that you'll want. I would say definitely you want a couple of can openers. Trash cans, people can just use, if you'll save up paper sacks, you can double bag them. I just found that they were starting to get a little leaky on my floor, and I was tired of like mopping after every single workshop, which I probably should do anyway. I shouldn't tell you that. But I was kind of getting tired of it. And so, especially when we had the meat prep before, like that was just, or the meat not prep before, that was kind of grossing me out. And so I bought some, I think they're like 10-gallon trash cans, 12-gallon trash cans on Amazon. I think they're like $7 a piece. They're just these gray trash cans that fit 13-gallon bags. And I'll put like one of those between every 2 people-ish. And that has helped a lot with cleanup. It makes it a lot faster. So that's that. Ooh. Okay, so here's something cool. I've created a Facebook group for my workshops, and that is where I've been announcing dates and things like that. And the thing is, what I found is really, really helpful is my group is a public group, so you can't post any specials or anything, but I've made a public group, and sometimes I forget to do this, but if you'll take a picture of everybody who's working at your workshop and then post that picture, you can tag them and say like, thanks for coming out tonight, I had a great time. You can tag them, and then all their friends are gonna see that picture pop up in their newsfeed and be like, what were you at? You were doing work, like freezer meal workshop? Like, that's cool, I wanna come. And so that I think is a really, really cool idea. And then I was making Facebook events for all of my workshops, and I haven't done that lately. I need to maybe try to go back to that. Okay, so getting started is simple. Here's the thing. If you are thinking like, hey, I kind of want to do this, here's what you need to do. Pick a menu, whether you go on that Facebook group and you find a menu. I've got a menu on that. I think it's called like Amy's April menu or something like that. There's my menu and my shopping list. And if you'll go and pick your menu, then go shopping and post a picture like this of what you're about to do. And you can see what I said. I just said, today's test menu includes blah, 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 blah. Hopefully they're all going to be on my August menu. And I said, Amy's Freezer Meal, hashtag Amy's Freezer Meal Club, hashtag August menu, hashtag new recipes. And like, that's it. And that really has gotten me a lot of interest. People see like, oh my gosh, like how awesome would it be to get all that stuff and just prepare it all at once. And so don't be afraid to take a picture in your kitchen of you prepping. Either do this or post a picture of like, maybe you could do it in addition to, but post a picture of your bags that are all made and ready to go in your freezer. Here's another one. Chicken enchiladas, hashtag it's what's for dinner, hashtag Amy's Freezer Meal Club, hashtag July menu. Like, I am not a good photographer. That was taken with my iPhone, but if you'll try to get like a cool angle, sometimes food looks better, you know, in different lighting and different angles, but I thought those look pretty good. Like, that makes me want to eat those again right now. Let's see. Here's another one. See, like, I want to eat that. This was spinach and mushroom smothered chicken with lemon garlic green beans. It was really yummy. And see, like, you want to eat it. So, but you guys can see, like, in the Facebook, like in the post, you can see where people are commenting. Like, it gets people's attention. Let's see, do I have any more? This is JP. I said, y'all, he just said that this meal was the bomb. I'm pretty sure that's still a good thing. It was a smoky sweet chipotle steak with a chimichurri sauce. That was yummy. And it was a freezer meal. It's delicious. anyway, so somebody said, Amy, this is a friend from high school. We went to church together, actually. She said, can you teach me your ways? The freezer meals I've done were gross. And I mean, like, that's a real thing. A lot of people, I think, are finding these menus on Pinterest where it's like 20 freezer meals for only this much money, and here's the recipes and the shopping list, and they do them, and they're not good. So that's why I say you've got to try the recipes before you actually start inviting people to your home or someone else's home to make them. Make sure that they're good. It's good food. So here's where I said, like, another successful freezer meal workshop tonight. It was a lot of fun. It was great to see you all. And that's where I like tagged everybody, and I got a lot of interest off of that. So here's the thing. If you're like looking for a takeaway, my suggestion is, like I said, pick a menu and go shopping. And if you create your own menu and you go shopping, be sure to save that shopping list because that will save you some time later. But go shopping and take a picture of you prepping your food, or take a picture of your prepped bags, and then start taking pictures every day that you cook one of those meals. Take pictures of it and share that on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on whatever, if you're doing Snapchat, and just with people in real life. Like, take your food for leftovers, or take a meal to somebody who just had a baby, or whatever, take them to potluck things and share your food, and people are going to want to see like what it is that you're doing. So this lady asked me if she could bring her daughter, and I was really hesitant, but her daughter was older. I put her on the end with her daughter so that they could work together, and she was okay. It did make me a little nervous. She didn't do any cutting, but like it kind of does make you a little bit nervous because you think like, what's going to happen? Where do I do snacks? Is it away from the prep area? So at this one, I can't remember what I served, but it was like off on a counter, off to the side. And usually I'll try to have that prepped as much as I can, but if it's something like crepes, like I want them to see me making them. And I have found though that it's either best to get them snacks when they very first start prepping, or they're just going to eat at the very end. Because once they get into it, they're really, really going to keep going and want to just like press on till the end. By the way, in the beginning workshops, like this was one at the beginning. So it was when they were bringing everything. They didn't prep their meat beforehand. If you look at my instructions on my menus that I've done early on, and maybe even still, they'll say it'll say like day of workshop prep, and it'll have like dice onion, dice your green bell pepper, and add everything to the bag. And then it'll say meat, and it'll say cube steak, and then add to the bag, or it'll just say add chicken or whatever. But the meat was always separate, because what I had them do was I had them go through and they prepped all of their bags of everything, all of their meals, and left the meat off of all of them. They just didn't touch their meat. They didn't open a meat package. And then at the very end, everybody would go back through and do the meat all together. That way you're not contaminating your cutting mats or your knives, your hands. Like, it just kept everything a little bit more sanitary. I don't have them posted, but this video now will be on YouTube if you wanted to share it, or if you wanted to rewatch it. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Do you guys have anything to share? I'm going to take it off of this screen share back to me. I think that's me, right? And let me see if there's anything else that I feel like I missed. But if you're doing 8 meals, then I would highly recommend that you buy labels that are in sheets of 8. And I think they're actually like called name badge labels, because I had these labels that were like 6 per sheet, and that was such a hassle to figure out how to print. So that's just a little extra something for you. Do you give some people the opportunity to do 2 versus 1 freezer meal kit, for example, if they have a big family? So here's the thing about that. If I haven't had anybody ask if they can double anything, but I would be a little hesitant to do that because it would take almost double the time. So they'd be chopping more stuff. That's when maybe they would need to bring a second person with them if I had space to do the prepping at the same time with them. So the other thing is about time. Like, I feel like doing the meat ahead of time was very helpful. And then another thing that I do is I kind of look around and I figure out who the slow person is and I help that person. I make it my job to go through first and help everybody like open up all of their cans, and that helps a little bit. And then like I really do figure out if there's a slow person that's just slow at everything, I'll help them. If there's somebody that's just not good at chopping, what I'll do is sometimes I'll just get ahead and I'll look and see like what recipe they're on, and I'll look ahead to the next one and I'll just start chopping everything for them for that recipe. Sometimes I'll have an extra cutting mat and knife of my own. That way I can be off to the side and I'll just chop and then I'll bring it over to them. But I'm really trying to help do that. And then watch your time and just be telling people like, hey guys, if we started at 6 and you're going 6 to 8, hey guys, it's 7. So you should be about halfway through with everything right now. If you're not, let me know and I'll come out and I'll help or whatever. But you don't want to like make people feel bad if they're slow, but some people know, hey, I'm slow and that's the way it is. And they're learning too. I think workshops are really cool because they're learning how to use stuff. I have people who use a Volata knife and they're like, oh my gosh, because they're anything like my family. My family always had these terrible knives and I didn't even know it growing up until I saw like JP introduced me to better knives, and then with the Volata knives, I'm like, oh yeah, like this is a different world. How do you keep ink from bleeding after they thaw? Off of the labels? I don't think mine have bled. I don't think they have. I usually don't use bags that have labels on them though. Mine, I usually, when I'm testing, I just grab a Sharpie and I handwrite what's in there. Maybe your ink is like a different kind of ink. I don't know, Jenna. Maybe try your ink and try the kind of label you're using and see if you switch it up, if that will change anything. Let's see. Do you guys have any other questions? We kind of are almost out of time because I know some people are going to want to be on online steps. So ways of collecting money, you can use PayPal, you can use Square Cash. Although if you're using Square Cash and you don't have a business account, they're going to make you get one. I know from experience. Let's see. I think I covered almost everything. So here's the thing about collecting money before. If you collect money in person, then you run the risk of somebody canceling and then you're out that spot and you've already ordered their product. So the reason that I try to have money at least 2 weeks up front is because obviously you want to order about 2 weeks ahead of time just so you're not like freaking out as some of us have experienced. The day before your workshop and your package, your Volata hasn't been delivered. But I really, really, really try to get money beforehand. So if you tell people the deadline to register is like 2 weeks beforehand, and so this is the hardest part. If you tell people to register 2 weeks beforehand and that they've got to pay you by then, that gives people time to mail you a check if they don't want to do some kind of a credit card. They can give you their credit card information over the phone if they trust you like that, and then you can enter it when you're doing your Volata order. You can use something like PayPal or Square Cash, but those are gonna take a percentage, obviously, of your earnings. So I started using Square Cash, and I created like a free market site. It's like a shop. And people can go on and register for my workshops and they pay through that. And I just said now my workshops are, I think it's 4110 or 4111 or something like that. And that covers the 3% or whatever it is that they're charging me. So you could just include that too. If you say, you have to pay through PayPal, then you could just include that PayPal fee in there. It sounds like it would be a write-off, but that's like a lot of extra stuff to go through, I think. So repeat customers, I have to say, like, I didn't do a workshop in December, and I'm not doing one this month either. Funny that we're talking about this. But I would say at least a third of people come back like every other month. I had several months there where there was the same group coming, and there were probably 6 of them, and they came maybe 3 months or 4 months in a row. Some, couldn't come. I found that it's like hit or miss as far as when you're going to offer them. So if you offer them on a weeknight, I think that's actually best for most people. That seems to be better than Saturdays, at least from what I've seen. I've done a Saturday morning, like 10 to noon. I've done, I think 6 to 8 on like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday is what's been best for me. I would like to maybe try a Friday one sometime. It seems like a Friday might be good for some people who, have to get up and work in the morning and they don't want to be out later. My most attended class is Sunday afternoon. It's interesting. I don't think I've tried a Sunday afternoon. If someone can't come and have prepaid, do you just give them the Volata product or refund? So I haven't done a refund. I actually I state somewhere that if you can't make it, then I will have your kit ready for you and I can mail it to you, or you can come. Actually, I say you can come pick it up at my house. Yeah, I just make it a to-go kit. That's what Diana said too. I just make it a to-go kit because if you if you're doing a workshop where you actually have all of their Volata products that they take home with them, then you can easily do it a workshop to-go kit where they just take it home and they work on it. If you're doing a workshop where you have community spices, where people are, you have like one lemon garlic and everybody's sharing that for whatever recipes they're using it for, then it would be a little bit harder to do that. But anyway, what other questions do you guys have? Anything? I'm going to post this on YouTube. I think that since I screen shared, that all those slides and everything should be saved. If you want to go back and read any of the notes or see any of the pictures, those should be on this YouTube video once I have it uploaded. So look for that. If you're looking for it, it won't be under the same link. It's not going to be on this Zoom. It's going to be under my YouTube channel. So you can just search for Amy Marc-Charles. And then I have a playlist that is called Volata Training, I think is what it is. So I think that's it. Well, if you are a Scentsy consultant as well, I hope you'll get on Online Steps that's starting in 7 minutes. And I have to say this. Oh wait, if you community share spices, you can use the baggies that you put in. Yeah, you can use like the little like jewelry bags and then label it and have like, this is lemon garlic. That way they know that they can use it for something. Okay, so we decided today that we are probably not going to be doing a monthly, the main course training. Thanks for those of you guys who are on tonight. I think that we want to maximize the use of our time, like my time and your time. And so I think we're going to try to incorporate for Online Steps more training that is just business training and not so specific. But specific training like this, I will try to do more of it and have it on my YouTube channel. I will be trying, and I know there are a lot of other leaders within Volata that have trainings. If you'll search on YouTube, you can find a lot of specific things and specific ideas. If you ever think of a topic that you want to discuss in more detail, then we do that. Sorry, there you go. But if there's ever something specific you want to talk about, we can try to do that. And I can try to do we can do like a special edition of the main course or whatever. But that's the plan for now. So we're going to go back to a joint Online Steps of Success next month. And the date is actually not the second Tuesday of the month. if you guys want to write it down, February 16th. And we're doing that because February 9th, which is the second Tuesday of the month, is actually our Oklahoma City World Tour stop for Cincy. And so most of us will be at that all day, and we just knew we'd be like exhausted. So February 16th, we're going to be talking about transition for the brands. We are going to be talking about what kind of open houses you can do, last chance, first glance open houses. And we supposedly have a special guest speaker from home office booked. I don't want to say who it is just in case it didn't happen or something, but you want to be there. That's February 16th at 8 o'clock for online steps, and hopefully we can start gearing them towards both brands. So hope you guys have enjoyed the main course, and thanks for getting on tonight, and have a good night. I said that, and now I should be able to like stop it. Okay.